The X Interview, hosted by Global X from the SCOL World Forum.
I'm Carla Javits, and I'm the president of an organization called REDF in San Francisco, California. It used to be called the Roberts Enterprise Development Fund, and we help social enterprises that employ very poor people in the Bay Area. Well, for many years before I came to REDF, I ran an organization called the Corporation for Supportive Housing, and we worked to help develop permanent housing with services for people who were homeless and disabled, many of them with mental illness and other problems. And so many years ago I met a man who ended up living in supportive housing. He had grown up in the South in a very religious family, had sung in the choir. He had been conscripted to the Army and went to Viet Nam and worked as a helicopter, in a helicopter and experienced a lot of combat there, was very traumatized by it, came home and didn't return to the South, didn't return to his family, but came to San Francisco, where he ended up homeless in the streets for about 20 years, addicted to drugs, mentally ill, and literally living out in the streets. After all those years, he found out about supportive housing, and he was able to get a place, secure a place to live in one of these buildings, which provided a decent place to live and support delivered respectfully to the people who lived there and with dignity. And then through supportive housing, he learned about a job actually working for one of the owners of a similar building doing maintenance work. And he secured that job, and so he became employed and housed, and his life changed dramatically. And he became a whole different person, really, and maybe more back to the person he was when he was young. And the last time that I saw him out on the street, he told me that he was going to meet his family for the very first time in decades in the South, and he was expecting a big reunion at the airport with his family there. I tell the story because it's really, in an interesting way, a story of social enterprise, social entrepreneurship. Supportive housing in and of itself is financed through both private investment, loans, as well as public sector investment and philanthropy. So it's a wonderful example of all of them working together. And then supportive housing created jobs in property management, in construction, in other aspects of sort of managing the real estate, and then was able to employ the people who finally came to live there in these businesses. And I think in that sense it's a wonderful example of the kind of thing that we're trying to do with social enterprise and social entrepreneurship, of really leveraging the best of private initiative and entrepreneurial spirit. The tenants in these buildings pay rent, so they're they're paying fees. The buildings are managed very efficiently. They're essentially little social enterprises, every one of them, and they make sure that they use the jobs created to employ the very people that they're trying to serve. So just a wonderful example of the power of that. I think, giving an optimistic perspective to the world in 2017, what we'll see is the best of social innovation, market-based approaches coming together with the best of the power of government's role and financial resources to really deliver quality services to very poor people, and to fully integrate them into the economy so they can participate in a completely different way than they do now, transforming not only their lives, but the lives of the societies that they live in.
Global X is also on SocialEdge at socialedge.org.